What's up, everybody? Welcome into a emergency shout podcast, and we're freezing our butts out here. Carl Jones, WIVB, Buffalo Kickoff Live, coming at you every Sunday. I want to bring them out here. We're at the stadium. Big news today, Carl. How are you, my friend?
I'm all good. I'm staying warm out here. Oh, I'm trying at least. I'm trying to stay warm.
No, there's no staying warm out here. We're in the elements. We're going through it. There's no room really inside to do this. So I was like, let's go outside. We'll see if this camera stays up. It's a little bit windy out here. But the Bills make big news today. Micah Hyde, longtime all-pro safety for the Bills, 7 years in Buffalo. On the fence whether or not he was going to retire. A lot of people thought that it might have been the end last season. It's not the end. He is back. He is going to rejoin the Bills on their practice squad. Sean McDermott made sure to make it clear, though. This is a move that isn't two starting safeties. They're going to stay in that spot. But what I think it gives the Bills is some leadership, which Sean McDermott admitted, and I know he didn't want to say the word, but some insurance in case something happens.
For sure. When you think of last postseason where they lost so many linebackers and they ended up biting them in the end in that Chiefs playoffs loss, I don't think Sean McDermott ever wants to be in a position again where he has to rely on AJ Klein or someone of that liking where you have to call them like, hey, buddy, don't go on vacation. We need you for a pivotal playoff game. So getting Micah Hyde back this early, I don't want to say this early in the season, but before the playoffs start, 5 weeks left in the regular season, I think bodes well for the Bills heading into that part of the year.
The really cool part about this, too, is there's been such a great vibe in the locker room this season. Like Josh Allen has talked about it. We've seen it week in and week out play out with the interactions. Mac Hollins arrives. He's walking around the building without any shoes on. All of a sudden you look over, and there's offensive coordinator Joe Brady doing the same thing. The vibes are really high, and I think adding a guy like Micah Hyde with the experience that he has, but also the cachet that he has in the locker room. This isn't just a guy off the streets. There was so much frustration amongst Bills fans about Mike Edwards being on the roster, never being able to get onto the field. I don't necessarily think if Micah Hyde never takes another snap, that doesn't necessarily mean this is a bad move. This is a move for the guys that are on the roster right now. And again, in case something comes up, you feel good about having to put Micah Hyde back out there because he knows this defense. Bobby Babich was his safeties coach a couple years ago.
He's a pro's pro. I know Sean McDermott alluded to it in the press conference where he can be the president of a bank. He can be the captain of a football team. When he walks into that locker room, when he's out there on the field, everyone out there, the DBs in particular, know that he's a pro and he's going to know his responsibility out there on the field. And that's just the on-field portion of it. You go to the locker room where guys who maybe haven't experienced a deep playoff run, been this deep into DeMar Hamlin hasn't been in this position before where he's counted upon to be a part of a Super Bowl caliber team this late in the year. I know he had the 2 years ago when Jordan Poyer went down, but that was two years ago. Now he will have to be relied upon in the postseason. He can rely upon someone like 23 to help him out this year.
I always thought that this made a lot of sense once the calendar turned to December, and it's fitting. It's almost like they got to December 1st. The conversation started happening, and now he's back on the team. It never made sense before this because got to remember, this is a guy that lost all of 2022 with a neck injury, dealt with a bunch of stingers last season. I didn't think that he could handle a full season, and the way that he was talking in the offseason made me think that he couldn't handle it either. This gives them a chance to ramp him up and go on one final playoff run. And it is fitting for all that he's done for this organization over the 6-7 years that he was here before this season. To reward a guy like that with a seat on the plane, if you will, on this final push, I think it makes a lot of sense.
I do want to say this as well. When people say, "Oh, he's up there in age, he's coming off the neck injury. He wasn't with the team all year. Could he really be a contributor to a playoff team?" Look no further than the team that Bills are going to play this week and Eric Weddle. He did the same exact thing, except it was even later in the year where he came back for the postseason and was a valuable starter for the Rams in that Super Bowl run that they had. I don't know exactly how Micah Hyde's been training out there in San Diego. No sources on that. But I'm saying it's possible for a guy to not have a training camp and be out for most of the regular season but still be a valuable part of a team come postseason time.
All right, we want to give you the quick hitter on the Micah Hyde news. We'll be back with Shout, the podcast, tonight, later today. Might be the afternoon, might be at night. You never know with me and Ryan Talbot. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Carl.
For sure. Thank you.